In this video, video 19 out of 24, we talk about Keytunes. Now, Keytune was a function that was introduced in OS 3.0. But now we actually added some new features such as synchronization, which means that rather than having to just press the key and have the associated WAV file play along with your style or your MIDI file, you can actually have that synchronized to the style such that it starts either on the right beat or at the beginning of the measure of the style that you're playing. That's a very, very nice feature indeed, because that's less headache and less time you spend to try to synchronize it so that it comes in just when it's right. But again, remember, this function does not tie the BPM of the WAV file to the style. So you have to make sure that your WAV file that you're associating with the Keytune already is in the correct synchronization or the correct BPM as the style or the MIDI file you're playing. Also, in the Keytune function, that does not do any pitch shift or pitch correction or chord changes, okay? If you want to have that feature, that WAV file will have to be brought into the real chords, and then the real chords will be able to do that. Of course, you can see the video we have there on how to make real chords. But for me, I believe that Keytunes is more of an effect, a musical effect that you can actually enhance, especially if you're doing stuff like Broadway theater or even Christmas music as well too. It's nice to have that in there. It's very similar to other manufacturers' multi-pads, if you want to call it that way. The difference is, rather than having physical pads on the panel, you have those associated with or affiliated with various keys that you program to have those particular sounds come in and out as you choose for your performance. If I press Keytune on the panel, you would now see that I can access the Keytune here through the new button called Edit. If I touch Edit, it now takes me to Keytune, and of course the different wave samples that are associated with the sounds that are here are I can be able to access them and use them as I see fit. Some manufacturers have what we call tabs or multi-tabs, and they allow you to be able to program phrases or sounds or MIDI, MIDI files or voices or wave audio files as well, which is good. It's nice feature. In Ketron land, we brought back the Keytune, which allows you to be able to assign those same elements, predominantly audio, of course, to various keys. Now, for my sake, what I chose to do in the Pro Pack 2 package was to make assignments to the keys that are way out here, because that way it allows you, the player, to have many more keys to play with, okay? And the good thing about that is now in 3.0, you also have the information over there as to what Keytune setting you're using, okay? So let me just give you a small demonstration of Keytune. So in this case, for example, I have certain endings that I've assigned to the key over there, these different keys. And if I want to know what is assigned to what, all I have to do is go into Info on the screen over there, and you see my keyboard, and it tells me the WAV files, right, that have been assigned to these keys. You see the gray on the bottom? So right now over here on C6, I have something assigned to it. And what is assigned to C6? Let's go over to the screen so you can see here what we're looking at. What is assigned to C6 is called ending number 8. So that's a WAV file called ending number 8. And I'll show you how to access all those with the Pro 2. Or I can go here, okay? So these are all different. Okay, now I can choose to load a different set of Keytunes, right? So again, I can just go here to this one, and if you got the Pro 2 package, we've done all of this for you already, okay? I might choose to load C2 introductions or intros. Now a whole new set of WAV files have been assigned to that, and to see what they are, I simply have to go into Info. See, it tells you the first one is what? Hit number 1. Second one is Excuse Me.
Excuse me.
Yeah, nice and sexy, huh? And the other one is Intro. But you get the idea, you get the gist, right? So these are, again, the functionality of Keytune. You can assign, different audios to different keys. You can assign them to the entire keyboard if you want. But just know that the more keys you're assigned, that means that the less keys you have to actually play with. Now, let's talk about Keytunes for a second, right? This is how you access and use it. Now, when you're at home in your studio, how do you create it? Well, the new function is under Menu. So if you go to menu and then you go to Keytune over there. Now this is how you start with a clean slate. Okay, this is the one that I was just using right now, but I can hit clear. For an example, I want to clear everything and start from scratch, right? So what I want to do is I want to be able to, first of all, get to where my samples are, and I want to be able to add them, right? So I'm going to touch add right here. And now it goes into my folder where I have all the various WAV files that I can use, right? And where are those files located? I'll talk about that in a second. But once you put the files in the right folder, you now have many, many files you can choose from. So I can now go with the example. I want to, let's say, go with baby, right? And I'm going to touch that. So baby, the WAV file baby has been selected. And now it's asking you, where do you want that file to be put or place that on the keyboard, right? So where do I want to put it so that when I press the key, I can hear that file? You can put it anywhere, but like I said, I choose to do mine over here because it gives me more room to play with. So I'm going to choose to put mine over here, over there. So the baby, okay, or the baby WAV file, it's been assigned to this particular key, okay? And you can, of course, have a start and end. I can say assign it to a particular range if you have a range of things you want to assign the sample to. But in this case, I just want it to be only on that particular key. Now I want to go add another one, all right? I'm going to go ahead and add again. And let's say I want to add aha. So I'm going to add this one over there, and I'm going to touch enter. And now it's asking me, where do you want to assign that sound to? Remember, I assigned baby to this key, so maybe I want to assign aha to this one over here. So I'm going to assign it to that particular one, okay? And now I can test it. And now, because these are WAV audio files, right? So the master volume of this, of course, is going to be controlled by your player volume here, right? But I'm going to show you a neat trick on how to control this with velocity, because when you're performing, you don't have time to reaching out to volumes to try to adjust them. No, you want to just focus on your playing, right? So I'm going to do one more. I'm going to go here to add, and let's say, and now I'm just adding effects. I'm not adding anything, you know. So if you have the Pro 2 package, you have all of these files at your disposal that you can use to create your own different Keytune settings, okay? So now I did baby over here, I did over there. I'm going to assign this next one, come on, to this guy, this key over here.
Come on.
Okay.
Come on. Come on.
Doesn't sound bad at all, okay? So now I'm done. I'm like, okay, I can go ahead and do more, but this is just to give you an example. I want to talk about some of the stuff that's happening in here too. Let's go to some of the basic setup right here, for example. I can actually turn on the dynamic volume so that when I play soft or I play hard, I can control, and I was telling you about that. If I don't do that, it's going to have a fixed volume of 127. I can also turn on and off the loop. So when I hit that one time, do I want it to repeat itself over and over again, or do I just want it to do it once and be done with? So these are some of the things that you have to think about when you are creating this particular Keytune. So this is fine. I'm going to, save this right now. I'm going to give this save as a Keytune, yes. And I'm going to give this one a name. I'm going to call this one effects, right? Because I just have a bunch of effects in there. Effects. All right, let's call it effects and enter. All right, so now I have a Keytune setting called effects, which is made up of baby, which is assigned to this key, which is assigned to this key, and come on now, which is assigned to that key. So, and I get out of here, all right, and get out of menu and return to my performance. So when I am playing, okay, so now that I've done my Keytune setting, for an example, remember, you're going to have various setups. I could have one called effect. I can have, like in my case, I had one called Don Williams. If you go to my screen over here, which I'm going to share with you, you can see I have many of them, okay? Circle of this. And some of these are, of course, available to you if you have the Pro 2 package. Now, the one we just did right there is called effects, right? So that's where it's stored. If I now touch effects, it now means that that particular Keytune has been loaded into the keyboard. So when I'm playing my style, remember I told you about the master volume for the effects is over there. And you still got the keyboard.
Come on. Come on.
Now remember, I have many of them, right? I'm gonna go to another one, endings, okay? Or, that's a different one. I have one in there that you saw. I know some people are already asking questions. Don Williams, right? Broken Heart. So I had this one in there for a particular song.
Coffee black.
We're not going to continue that. We want to avoid having copyright strikes. But you get the point, right? You get the message. So that's pretty much in a nutshell how you use the Keytune feature. I'm hoping and wishing that Ketron can also give us that same capability, right? But being able to assign on using these buttons, because now these buttons are kind of like useless, especially since we have our voice access and our style access right on the screen. When I go into style, for example, I have the categories here, which are these categories on my left. And for all my categories, I have my various selection of my styles. If I do the voice section, I can go into the screen. I have the categories again here. So really, I don't need these buttons. It would be very, very nice if these buttons can now all just be programmable and used as user tab, because then I can now program whatever I want over here, right? These buttons, because they've become redundant now. They've become, you know, they were there for voice selection and for style selection. But now with the new OS, I can have the voice selection and style selection entirely on the screen. But remember what I said in the beginning, sometimes you want the redundancy, because when you're playing live, some people want to hear that response. They want to feel that tactical response. So maybe not. But it'll be a nice thing if we could have these buttons here programmable. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 programmable buttons. Wow.